esteemed Vice Chancellor and distinguished colleagues on the dais. I'm very happy to be here today meeting colleagues and friends from old days, and it's also a privilege to have been invited on at this valedictory function. It is really a matter of great interest that a national conference on local governance was held, and topics under discussion were very relevant to the challenges that Panchayati Raj has been facing. I think the importance of the national conference also is that there has been a kind of waning academic interest and other political and bureaucratic interest in decentralization, in institutions of local governance, in institutions of participative governance at the local level. And therefore, I think organizing such a conference is a great contribution to the academics, to the researchers, to create greater interest in looking at the problems that are being faced at that level. One major problem that I feel has arisen from the fact, from the time that Panchayati Raj Act was passed, has been kind of a reluctance of political leadership and bureaucratic leadership to transfer powers to the participative institutions. And in terms of transfer also, there are provisions in the Act, but there has been reluctance even to part with those provisions that are in the Act to be given to the participative institutions. And I think this reluctance emanates from what the Vice Chancellor mentioned, kind of two perceptions of Panchayati Raj. The perception which was very Gandhian in a way, very idealistic in a way, and there was also a perception which was articulated by Dr. Ambedkar in the way that he looked at local level institutions and politics. And I think this difference between the two has led to greater emphasis on bureaucracy rather than on participative institutions, leading to problems that need to be implemented through participation are now being implemented through bureaucratic method. And I think this reliance needs to be investigated even much more. So this is one important point that I want to make. And together with this is the issue then becomes of the content of public administration itself. What does public administration study, and what does it investigate? What are its research interests? Increasingly, with the advent of neoliberalism and other factors, the role given to public administration is in somehow being contracted. And this contraction is occurring because of some kind of view that public goods and public services can be provided by private actors. And hence the new concept that has come up has been that of public-private partnership. Now, what is this animal public-private partnership? Is it public or is it private? Now, this raises some very important issues regarding accountability. Because if you are talking of public administration, then public administration is accountable to elected leaders. But if you are talking of private services, then who is it accountable to? And this was clearly made out in a communique earlier from the Planning Commission, that because public-private partnership has private sector in it, you cannot ask for RTI information from it. Now, if that is so, if you cannot ask for RTI information, then public services and delivery of public goods has been transferred without accountability to the private sector. And I think this is something important, because people feel that you are making the state stronger. But cutting down on state functions does not make a state stronger. Look at health. You say that, all right, you need health services. We will allow for greater number of hospitals to be opened in the private sector. You need education. We'll allow for